Good morning, Powur Hitters. Happy Tuesday. This is series number 3 of our team training every Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Glad you're watching this today. Today we get to feature a pretty cool special host that's making a name for herself in the industry, Solar Lily, who I've actually known for, God, what has it been, Lily? 10 years maybe?
10 years or so, yeah.
Yeah, we used to work at Verizon Wireless. So super honored to have worked with her for so long. She used to be my manager at Verizon Wireless, and now we get to sell solar together. So yeah, today we're going to be talking about, she's going to be mostly talking about overcoming, handling objections, mindset, how to be a ninja, and what things that she practices weekly and daily to be successful with her business. And she's starting to scale quite a bit right now. So we always like to start off with some success stories. Here a couple before we get rolling. Lily, I know you've been taking some training recently. You talked to some door knockers lately. What's a success that you're proud of in this last week or two?
One of the things I've been doing is I've been doing door-to-door out here in Vegas with a group of people. I'm actually going to go with some Spanish speakers today from Powur. And I want to scale and build my business from the bottom up. So what better way than to just generate a lead with zero cost? I feel like a lot of us rely so heavily on, paying for ads and different. So I just want to be able to have a business that you can get from everywhere. Like you have referrals, you have your internet leads, and then you also can just go out there and grind it out. So that's why I'm here in Vegas, and that's why I'm in the desert right now.
Awesome. Anybody else want to share a success they've had the last week or two?
I'll share something real quick. I just wanted to give a shout out to Johnny, who's on the call right now. He became a consultant about a week and a half ago. So I'm excited for him and his new journey. And then another young lady that I met, Michelle, she's going to be hopping on in a few minutes. She's going to be signing up tomorrow. But I told her, hey, you got to get on this call with, Jonathan and so Lily and JC and these guys. They're the experts, and who better to learn from. So there she is right there.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Joel. Good to have you. Bobby, you still there? Bobby Rye?
I'm here.
Man, you've been crushing it, dude. You have a real estate background. You give me more opportunities than I want. You're awesome. We just signed a deal yesterday, Stephanie. You want to share a little success story, maybe how you got the lead, how we sold it, just a quick success story?
With Stephanie, I ended up opening up a new business account, and it just happened to be when she saw my face, she recognized me because I'm a local realtor in the area. She started talking to me and asked me if I had mutual friends, and the funny thing is we did. And one thing led to another, and I told her about solar. I told her about, all the other stuff I do. And I told her about the referral program. She was ecstatic. She said she comes across a lot of people in the bank. So just one thing led to another, and we ended up having a call together, and she signed up finally. And now she's going to be giving me another referral. So one thing does lead to another, is what I see. And, if you have multiple sources of revenue share, I think one thing just leads to another, and they like that.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks, Bobby. I think we're each making like $3,000-$4,000 on that job, plus more referrals coming. So
Yep.
Just talking about it, letting people know about that ambassador program, guys, whatever you're doing day to day. Anyone else want to share one more success story?
I got a couple. I had a really good week last week. I got 2 installs done, a new ambassador who I'm mentoring a deal for. I got a deal for, a new consultant that I'm mentoring a deal for. So I just recently started working on building a team, and it's been great for me. I'm excited, super excited about it. I've been stuck in this room here now for hours instead of running around so much.
How'd you find that new consultant, Reggie?
He came from a friend of mine who it just referred him to me. He's a roofer, and he said, "Hey, my buddy does roofing, and he started to do solar. You should talk to him." And that's how I got it.
Awesome. Great. And I was lucky enough to hang out with you on Friday last week, and he is a local roofer in Southern California, guys, for those of you who don't know. So awesome stuff. A lot of success going on every single week with this team, with this platform, with this company, and everything that we can do. Jarrett, man, I need to hear your voice for 1 minute real quick. Come on, bro. Unmute yourself.
Yo, what's good?
What's going on? Tell me what you've done the last week.
Last week, man. I'm just trying to get some of these deals closed. You know, I got some guys that are out in the field. They're generating leads, knocking on doors, getting some guys going and mentoring them. I've done a couple presentations. It's slowing down a little bit for me personally. I know not for everyone, but you know, I got some hanging on the fence that are just trying to get quotes, and I'm trying to overcome that objection of like, hey, sounds great. We usually get 2 or 3. I've done the whole broker thing, but you know, with Christmas coming up in the holidays next week, everybody's not totally focused on getting these other quotes. So I have a lot of follow-ups, but no, all good stuff. A lot of momentum. I got new people joining. Just really excited.
Awesome, Jarrett. Always good to hear from you.
Yeah, and super stoked for this this training with Solar Lily. You guys, she is a true badass in this industry, and she's an objection ninja, and I love handling objections. So I just want to throw it out there. You guys are in for a treat.
Awesome.
Thanks. You can throw some objections at me too, Jarrett, if we don't cover it.
Okay.
All right, Lily, my pleasure and honor to work with you. Take it away. Let us know what you have in store for us today.
Well, thank you again for inviting me. Anyone that knows me personally knows that I love objections, like not because I love difficult things. It's just every objection is really an opportunity to like close. So a lot of people think I just go out there, we just present proposals and people say yes or no. Like absolutely not. We have to like, you know, we build value and then we find out what the real issue is and we close. That's what we do. So whether you love them or hate them, they're how deals get closed. The difference between someone going with us and someone else is somebody handled an objection better than we did, you know? That's how I look at it. So I try to save customers from shitty reps, and that's what I do. Psychology of sales and the mindset, you know, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes. We have to keep it simple for the customer, but we know that there's a lot of things going on in that buying decision in their head. So the way that we find out how they're going to buy is by asking really early discovery questions. That way, when we go to pitch and close, it's like we already know what they were looking at. So we're tailoring the solution to what this customer wants. I'm not going to sell someone on price if they don't care about price. They have money. They want to save the environment. I need to know that before I pitch. Hey, you're saving $100 a month. They're like, well, but I want the most environmentally friendly panel made. And I'm like, well, shoot, I was barking up the wrong tree. So that takes knowing personality types, how to talk to people, building rapport, and gaining their trust very early on is what I've found is very crucial. Because the last thing you want to do is just like data vomit on someone. And then they're just like, okay, well, thank you for all this information. I'm going to go price shop you with 2 others and then I'll let you know. Like, then it's like, whoa, I just went through all that for nothing. So, you know, it's important to not stop at no. Objections are actually where, to me, the sale begins. So next slide. And then again, for the mindset, this is what I've found in 3 years in the industry and just in sales. I've been in sales since I was 18 years old. Door knocking, East LA since I was a little kid, 18 years old, you know. So I realized that the best way to be a salesperson, that the best salespeople aren't actually salespeople, we're problem solvers. So people aren't calling us because they're like, sell me solar. No, they're calling us because they're like, solve my issue with this damn bill that keeps going up, you know? And when we can solve their problem, there's no reason why they wouldn't do business with us. I always lead with questions and curiosity. So even when they give you an objection, they're going to first give you an objection, and it's going to be a surface level, right? It's going to be like, well, it seems too expensive. Oh, okay, no problem. Just out of curiosity, what were you thinking a system like this would go for? What kind of payment were you're looking at? If we don't ask those second layer questions, we're never going to get the true objection, because it might be $10 off. It might be like, oh, I thought I would pay like $100, and we're at 112, we're at 100, whatever. And then I know I got to build value to get to 112, or I got to drop to 100, you know? The good thing with Powur is that we actually have the ability to do that. And that's awesome. You can't really say that about many companies. I've worked at other companies where it's like, here's the price, take it or leave it. We have no control over that. So, you know, scratching the surface, not taking the first, you know, objection and kind of like shutting down. A lot of times I feel like people read our body language, and if they give you an objection and you're instantly like they know. So when people give me objections, I'm like, that's a great question. That's a great point. I'm glad you asked. And it's a pattern interrupt. They're like, wait, why is this girl happy that I'm telling her no? Like, what the, like, who's excited that I'm telling her like why I don't want to go solar? But it makes them reframe, like, damn, let me listen to what this person's gonna say, because I just told her like why I don't want to go solar. She said, that's great. So they're not used to that. They're used to saying no and someone trying to convince them, and like, you know, the snaky stuff that some people do. So in this case, I always, you know, I take it as an opportunity to uncover the pain. If there was no pain, they wouldn't be getting a solar consultation, if that makes any sense. And obviously you always want to be the solar expert, and you want to be the professional. Be different than the other people that came in and just spit a bunch of information and then said, so it makes sense, right? Fine here, you know. Be an educator, ask a lot of questions, make them feel like they're your friend, like treat them as you would treat your friends and family, so they can make an informed decision and they don't feel like they were like pushed into something they didn't want. Next slide. And so with the discovery questions that I was saying is, so very upfront in the consultation, I recommend that you take a moment to say, so, you know, after you've built rapport, again, you're not just going to jump into the sale. You're going to ask them like, how are you doing? You know, what, you know, you're going to have a conversation about how their day was, you know, how they're feeling. Oh yeah, you know, how are you doing with COVID? Maybe what they do for work. Have a little mini set, right? And then when you get to the solar, you're going to say, what made you decide to look into going solar? And then they're going to be like, well, you know, my neighbors have it. I heard you could save money, you know, whatever their reason is, they're going to basically give you something to work with. And then you're going to say, do you know anybody else with solar, if they haven't answered it in the first part? Once you ask them that, then you're going to ask them what their main goal is. And that's where they're going to say, well, what do you mean my main goal? And then you're going to say, you know, oh, well, like what were you looking to do with solar? Are you looking at savings? Are you very environmentally friendly? I mean, you see the, you know, news, the politics, everything is about going green. What is it that most interests you about solar? And then they're going to say what it is. And then you can ask them, have you ever had a solar consultation before? And this will allow you to know if they've sat down with other companies, if they're shopping you, so you have a better idea of what angle you're going to take. And then you ask them, if they say, actually, I have sat down with others, or you're the third one, you know, when we get that one, we're like, and you don't want to be deflated. When they say you're the third one, you could be like, great, I'm glad that you're taking this very seriously and you're getting bids and you're going with the best company. That's awesome. So if you don't mind me asking, what made you decide to revisit it, or what made you decide to look into it now if you've looked at it before? And that's going to tell you how they're determining what their determining factor is and who they're going to choose to go solar with.
Awesome. I just want to add, you know, doing this so long, like a lot of us, sometimes I'll get lazy on these questions. Sometimes I'll skip over it. Sometimes I want to get right to the numbers. But it's so important, guys, to ask these questions. Did you look into this before? and why are you revisiting it? That's a great one that just triggered it. So, you know, in all humbleness, like I sometimes skip over these, and it's so important to ask these as much as you can.
Basically, these discovery questions are how you're going to close a sale. They're telling you, sell me this way. This is what I want. So that's why they're important. I love them.
So Lily,
So now you can
I
ask.
might sell my house in the future.
Great. How far in the future, Jonathan, if I may ask?
You know, I'm really not sure. California, we just don't love it. We're thinking of other states. It's probably a few years out, I'm thinking, yeah.
Okay. Well, great. So a lot of people are thinking of moving and selling and things like that. One of the great things about solar, particularly what I'm offering you here, is that it's transferable and it's also able to be paid off at escrow. So depending upon when you're moving, your house is much more marketable. There's studies that show it will sell 17% faster than a home without solar, and especially in the state of California. We are the most green-friendly state. So when you put your house to sell against say your neighbor is going to sell their house and you're selling yours. Everything's the same, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, typical home, but you have solar. You have something of value that they don't have. And people, when they're buying a home, they're looking at the whole equation. They're looking at, you know, how much is my power bill going to be? How much is the water, HOA fees, you know? So when you can sell it with paid off solar, it's a very, very attractive proposition to a home buyer. And as a real estate agent, I can tell you that I have seen homes with solar sell much faster.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
So I pay it off, or I transfer the monthly?
It's completely up to you. If you transfer it, the person just gets qualified and they take over the remainder of the payment. So let's say you've lived in your home for 10 years and it was a 20-year loan, they just assume the remainder. Or you can market it and sell it with paid off solar at the cost of the solar to the top of the home. So say you were going to sell the home for $450, you could sell it for $460 with paid off solar and paid off at escrow. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you can do it whichever way you want to do. It's totally easy to do, and it's a great investment for a home that you're going to sell, actually.
Gotcha. Should we keep going here?
Yes. You're going to say, I don't want to pay interest on a loan.
Yeah. What if I wanted to pay cash? I'm not really huge on interest. Your rate seems good, but I don't love paying interest. I can afford.
Awesome. Yeah, so we actually do have 2 ways. We have the monthly payment with a loan, which is just going to save you monthly at a fixed rate of 1.49. That's very competitive. It's a great rate. But if you're a person that wants to pay cash and just pay the connection to the grid, we absolutely have a 15% discount up front. So I would definitely take advantage of that if I were you.
Okay, and I mean, am I not allowed to pay this off sooner, or how does the loan work?
Oh, totally. You could get the loan and you can pay it off early at any time, and there's no prepayment penalty. So you would only pay interest up until the time that you have the loan on it.
Okay, and if my wife wants to put like $5,000 down up front, is that something we could do to lower the loan amount?
Yeah, you could totally do that. The way that it works is, so you're going to have a federal tax incentive credit period, which is 18 months for you to file your taxes. Kind of like what we talked about. If you have a tax liability, you're basically going to put that towards the loan if you decide to. If you wanted to add the $5,000 more, that's fine. Or if you didn't want to do the whole federal tax incentive, because what happens is at month 18, the loan re-amortizes, and then you have a new fixed payment at that rate, whatever's left that you're borrowing still.
So give whatever I want back in the first 18 months. Okay.
Yep, exactly. And it'll lower your payment, or you can pay it off. You know, some people throw an extra $1,000 every time they do taxes, and that's fine too.
Okay. You know, I like this, but just with other projects and holidays, and you know, I'm not sure if my wife's going to lose her bartending job. I just don't know if I can afford, you know, another finance,
Yeah.
another obligation right now.
Oh, I completely understand. Many, I can see how you can feel that way. Many customers feel that way as well. And what they found is that having a lower fixed monthly bill is a lot easier to take care of than a fluctuating up and down SCE bill. Because, for example, your SCE bill that's, it can be 150 in the winter, goes up to 300 to 400 in the summer. Instead of you having to navigate that during a kind of tight financial period for you, it's much easier. Wouldn't you say it's much easier to navigate 135 as a payment?
Yeah.
So I think the affordability of it, you're already paying for solar, you just don't have it on your roof, so you're actually paying a little more than what it would be, right?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I guess just taking on another debt or payment worries me, but it is saving me money compared to my electric bill.
Yeah, so a lot of people have said that, it's taking another debt. However, at least this debt has an end date. The way that you're right now with the utility, there is no end date. It goes on indefinitely, and you don't have control over it. It can go up 50% in the summer months, and it can go down with this one. I have found that people that are conscious of like financial situations actually love the benefit of just one fixed auto bill that they don't have to worry about.
Right. And you said my rates are going up with time of use next year anyways.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So if your bill is causing a big issue for you right now, it's going to be bigger when time of use comes into play and you use the power exactly the way you're using it, but you're just paying more based on the time, So that's actually why a lot of your neighbors, if you notice, have gone solar recently. Some of them are already on time of use. You're not, but when you do go to it, your bill will go up. So this will help you with inflation-proof your home, from energy costs that are always rising.
Okay. Yeah, my friend Eric that referred me to you, he likes it, and I think it makes sense, but we just want to wait till next year, Lily.
Okay, sure. If I may ask, that's absolutely fine. A lot of people decide to wait and then they revisit it, kind of like you did before. You talked to two other companies, and that's totally fine. If you don't mind me asking though, what do you think is going to change between now and next year?
What do you want me to say?
No, the real answer, what you would say to someone. What do you think is going to change between now and next year that's making you hold off until next year?
I think just the holidays and the elections and the new year, there's a lot going on, and just kind of want to give it some time.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of people feel that way. Actually, right now, what we're running into is a lot with the elections, a lot of people talking about it. More and more people are actually going solar. And the thing that's good for you, Jonathan, is that solar is not an instant thing. There is a 7-step process to going solar. So that definitely gives you that time you want. So this all goes on in the background. You don't have to do anything. We take care of permitting. We take care of everything. And before we even put the system on your home, we're going to do a site survey. We're going to make sure it qualifies and that you qualify. So what we can do is, if you know you're going to do it for sure next year, obviously we're in December, we're going to get you installed next year. And I want you to still be able to get that federal tax credit of 22%. The last thing I want, Jonathan, is for you to call me next October, and if this credit goes away and we don't get your system on your roof and installed before the end of next year, when you're thinking of revisiting, you're going to lose out on 22%. And you told me you wanted to save, so I want to help you save by doing it now rather than later. Does that make sense?
Yeah, understand. Good
Yeah,
point.
I tell people okay, we can do it later. Absolutely, I would love to help you and your friends and family later, but I want you to get all the benefits of being an early adopter and that tax credit.
Gotcha. Okay, I'll do it. So Lily, man, $42,000. That just seems high to me.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. So is it the cost that's high for you, or is it the price that's high for you?
What's the difference?
Well, the cost of ownership is the 40,000. The price is the monthly you're going to pay for it. So you're paying Edison right now on average 250. If you do the math of 250 times 12 months, you're paying this per year. Now do that times 20. It's actually more than the cost of this $40,000 system. So how long have you lived in this home again?
7 years.
7 years. So you would be almost done paying for a solar system with what you've already been paying Edison. Does that make sense?
Because I'm spending $3,000
Yes.
a year or something like that.
Yeah, in 7 years, that's already 21,000, right?
Yeah,
So
I guess the 41 number is just such a large number that I didn't anticipate.
yeah, totally. I see what you're saying. As far as the 41,000, that's obviously before your tax incentive credit, and you wouldn't be required to pay that up front. You would be paying it monthly. So as opposed to your utility bill, which you have no control over, it always goes up, and it'll never be yours, right? You're just like throwing money into like just a bill, an expenditure of living in your home. When you buy solar, it's going to be yours at one point. And the other thing is it's going to add value to your home, and it's also going to be a fixed bill. Like I said, the purpose of solar is to save money. When you do the numbers, it is less than what you're paying, and it's not going to be something that's going to go down in value, because we have you covered 30 years, bumper to bumper, and all that. So for example, right now, it doesn't look like you're saving much, and that's probably why 42,000 looks like a high number. You're saving $50 a month. But in 5 years, when your bill would be 300, in 10 years, when your bill would be 400, at that time, this payment will look like, wow, I should have done it, right? I'll kind of give you a little example. With the cost of a solar system, when people say it costs too much, what it is solar is future-proofing your energy costs. If I told you 20 years ago, hey, Jonathan, I'll sell you this gas card for $1,000. Well, how much was gas 20 years ago?
$1.10, 85.
Yeah, it was like 95 cents, right? So if I would have told you 20 years ago, hey, Jonathan, I'm going to sell you this card for $1,000, you're always going to be able to pay 95 bucks. You would have laughed in my face, right? And you would have been like, for what? I can buy it for $1 a gallon, right?
Got it.
But if you had that gas card now, you would be like, if I offered it, you would take it in a second. That's exactly what solar is. It's being able to have the price from 20 years ago when your system's paid off. And once it's paid off, there's no more payments. It's all yours. So you have free energy, basically.
Okay. And some of us have had this one recently, this objection. So, I just saw this 12 kilowatt on Tesla's website, and they're charging like $21,000 for a 12 kilowatt. Why are you so off? Why are you thousands and thousands more?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I have had customers come, and tell me about that before. But I've also seen the other side of that. I've been in this industry for 3 years, and what Tesla has done is they've taken out the solar consultants from their equation. Their business model is based on just selling mass amounts of solar, but not tailoring it to the customer. So for example, remember before I came to your house, I asked you for your 12 months of usage? That's how I was able to size your system correctly. If you notice on Tesla's website, it's like a small, medium, large offering, which you have no idea. It's a guesstimate that's going to meet your current needs and future needs. So when I asked you, how long have you been in the home? Is anyone moving in and out? Do you plan on getting an electric car? Things like that. I was able to size your system from 100% of what you used last year to what you will be using to give you a very accurate bill, analysis, So that the last thing you want to do is go with someone like Tesla, get a one size fits all, and then realize, oops, that wasn't enough. And now you're going to have two bills at the end when that settlement bill comes in on month 12. By me custom doing this for you, not only am I customizing your system, but I'm also going to hold your hand through the process. If you notice with Tesla, you have to leave a $100 deposit, and then everything's done via email. Like, there's no personal touch to it, which means if anything goes wrong in the 7-step process, you're kind of left to, email to find out. There's nobody there to help you. And with this being a lengthy process, wouldn't you feel better with somebody helping you through the whole thing?
Yeah, but your 11 kilowatt is more than their 12. So I'm just really trying to wrap my head around so customer service, you're saying is,
yeah, that's just one. So for one, customer service, for two, the visibility into your project and the time that's going to take to get to your roof. And then number 3, our warranties and also our financing. You mentioned financing was kind of something important to you. Well, Tesla's giving you a great rate, but if you're doing a 20-year, it's at a 4.99% interest. Yeah. And we're giving you a 20-year 1.49. That right there is thousands of dollars already in savings. So your monthly payment on imagine it was the same loan, the monthly payment with us would be lower. As well as we have a 30-year bumper-to-bumper warranty, which they do not offer. So with Tesla, they have the 10-year parts which the panels come with, and there's a 25-year performance guarantee like most panels have, but we actually offer you beyond that. So if you have an issue with your roof with Tesla in year 11, let's say everything's great, in year 11, your roof starts leaking, what do you think is what you do with Tesla? I mean, just out of curiosity.
Try to call their customer service, or I guess I wouldn't be covered like you're saying.
Right. So you would be open to those costs, the cost of ownership, which is if something breaks, if it starts leaking, you would just be out of pocket to fix your roof, right? With Powur, you're actually covered for 30 years. That's parts, that's labor, that's people coming out to your house, and that's also your roof penetration that we did with our solar. So that peace of mind, is that peace of mind worth the difference to you?
Yeah, I looked up their reviews and they're 2 stars. Right. We had a friend of a friend who said it took them a few months just to get some service for their system. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I never talk bad about another company because Tesla is a great company. They have nice cars, they're very popular. They've built their brand recognition, but at the same time, they do on the solar end, they do fall short as far as customer expectations, customer service. And another thing with Tesla is that with everything being online, when you have an issue, it's going to take time for them to come and resolve it, like you said. I've actually had customers that I quoted several months ago come back and they said they went with Tesla because of the price, and then they come back and they're like, you know what, Lily, it's been 3 months and they haven't even gotten a permit. Like, I think I'm just going to revisit it with you. And we've switched them over after they spent basically 3 months waiting, just to even get a permit issued. So I didn't want to bring it up, but since you brought it up, that's definitely where the customer service falls short.
One of our biggest concerns is the roof. I've heard a horror story, and we have a neighbor that knows someone that they messed up their roof. So I just want to keep it on the patio, Lily, or on the ground. I don't want it on the house.
Okay. Is the only reason why you don't want it on the house because of the roof? Out of curiosity?
The idea of someone poking holes in my roof, this was a new home that was built less than 10 years ago. I don't know. I don't want someone drilling into my.
I totally understand. I'm the same way. Like, my house is like my little baby, it's my pride and joy. So I totally understand where you're coming from. However, we do have ground mount systems, and if you have enough enough space in your backyard, that is a possibility. However, what I recommend is let's look at what it looks like on your roof, set the site survey, and then a technician will actually come, look at your roof, and we'll explain all the penetrations. And if you decide to do it as a ground mount, we have that option as well. The reason why I understand your roof is a concern for you, but you have a new home. That means it has a new roof, and we have the 30-year warranty. So if anything happens to your roof where we've done penetrations, we completely cover that, as well as we're licensed, bonded, and insured. So you're covered on all edges for that, on every angle. But if you still want to put it elsewhere, we can definitely do a ground mount for you. As long as you have the space, it's not a problem.
I'm just worried that some tiles might be broken. I don't go up there to check, right? So how am I going to know if you guys broke some of my tiles?
Well, we take pictures of everything. So when we, if something were to happen and we had to send someone out and we did break some tiles, there is such a thing as just human error, things can happen. But the good thing is that you're dealing with a reputable company, that we're nationwide. We take care of you and all our customers. We have an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. And that's not because we're perfect, but it's because when we have issues with our customers, we resolve them. But I'm glad you're thinking of that, because it's a very valid concern. And all our customers have found that we've addressed them. So that's the main thing.
And there's probably thousands of people that already have solar right around my neighborhood anyways, right?
Yeah, exactly. All your neighbors, you all have the same roofing material. And it's like 50% of your neighborhood has solar. So it's definitely feasible on your roof type and not damaging to homes. So.
Okay, great.
Your
Well,
roof.
you did a great presentation, Lily. Really professional. I really like the information. You're very sweet and charming. But we're just going to think about it and then give us some time and we'll get back with you, okay?
Okay, perfect. That's not a problem. Definitely understand where you're coming from. Out of curiosity, or just for me to know, because I didn't do my job if I didn't give you all the information that you needed, was there anything that you needed clarification on, or any reason or anything that you really need to think about? What's the main thing you need to think about?
I think my wife, Susie here, and I want to
need to talk?
Yeah, we just want to talk it over tonight, maybe.
For sure.
Make sure we didn't miss anything.
Perfect. That was exactly what I was going to ask you next. I'm definitely looking forward to following up with you. So if you want to talk about it in the next couple of days, how's about a follow-up in 2 days, which will bring us to Monday. What time are you guys usually free? After work?
I'd say Monday, probably like 6:30 to 7.
Perfect. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up another Zoom call for, let's just say 7, give you time to get settled in and stuff. And then we'll go over any additional questions you may have come up with. And then we could take it from there. How's that?
Yeah, that's great. If you could just remind us or text us, send us that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I'll send you a reminder, and then we'll just hop on, answer any questions, and then hopefully get you going solar.
Okay, and you said next steps are a survey?
Yeah, so once we get you qualified, we're gonna do a site survey with they go on your roof, they check the attic and your main panel to make sure that everything is in line to go solar. And if anything isn't, like you mentioned your roof and things like that, if we determine that there's any additional cost, I'll let you know, and then we'll just revisit the numbers again. Make sure it makes sense for you.
Do we have to sign something just to get that surveyor out here?
Yes, we do need your word that you are committed and looking into going solar. And obviously you always want to have in writing something before someone goes on your roof, just in case anything happens. We're licensed, bonded, and insured, and you're covered. I'm sure as a homeowner, that's important to you, right?
I like that. That was a good line, Lily.
For your benefit.
So you're telling me this is only $115 a month? I mean, what do I have to give you? What's the down payment?
It's $0 down. I know you're probably thinking it seems too good to be true, but it's not. It's why all your neighbors have solar. There's no down payment. You don't make a payment until 30 to 45 days after the system's installed. So you would just continue paying your regular energy bill. And once we get permission to operate a few weeks after the system's installed, then we turn on your system, and then you'll be full, you'll be running on solar. and your bills will start to come within about 45 days, generally speaking.
What's the catch? Why wouldn't someone not do this?
I don't know, probably because they haven't sat down and really looked at the numbers, you know? It's a total no-brainer, and I'm glad you see the value in it, because that means that, you know, I did my job. My job is just to come, educate you, and allow you to make that decision of a wise investment in your home.
Okay, great. I'm sold, Lily. We'll see you Monday on that Zoom call.
Let's qualify you. Since you're sold now, let's just get the paperwork started, and Monday I'll come by with the site audit. No, just kidding.
So you just do a credit check? Yeah.
If they said we'll get started on Monday, I will run credit. Yeah.
What do you think? Should we do a credit check?
Yeah, I mean, you're just gonna get qualified.
Let's do it.
All right, cool. So the next part is the personality types. You see, I usually don't speak like this, but I was kind of trying to mirror Jonathan. So one of the ways you build rapport and gain trust is mirroring, and you want to mirror according to their personality type. So for example, Jonathan is very laid back, kind of like, what do you think? So I would say, like, does that make sense? Certain things I wouldn't say normally to a different personality type. But because he's analytical, I know it has to logically make sense in his brain to do something. So when you're buying, it's logic wrapped in emotion. Jonathan is not very emotional, so I had to go with logic and just like, does that make sense? Well, why wouldn't you? What do you think? I had to make him decide to go solar, right? Does that make sense, Jonathan? Like, is that how it felt, kind of?
Yeah, you were just on the same level with me, same tone.
Yeah.
Giving me.
And you know me, that's not my tone, but I was really trying hard to be like you.
Hey, yeah, hey.
Exactly, and that's the point. So there's 4 different personality types, and they can range anywhere from, I mean, they have different names on different things. There's like red, blue, green, and yellow. There's, you know, I've heard of them called like different things. Where I've learned personality types as my old mentor. When I was doing seminar sales on the road, and he basically taught us the personality types like this. There's a whale, which is a person that takes care of others. These are usually like the mothers, nurses, teachers, people that their motivation in life is to take care of people. So you're going to sell a whale a lot different than a shark. A shark is a bottom line person. Get to the point. They're going to be the people that are like, all right, look, just give me the numbers. If it makes sense, we'll do it. If it doesn't, then, you know, peace out. I have 10 minutes. You know, that's a shark. I'm definitely not going to sell a shark the way I just spoke to Jonathan, because that shark would be like, all right, let me think about it. Come back next week. I got to go. You know, like, boom, your time's done. And there's dolphins, and I'm kind of a dolphin shark. Dolphins just want to have fun. They're like loud. They're the life of the party. They're social. They're just like, their purpose is to have fun. They like to travel, and they're pretty like friendly, outgoing people. And then those people are not going to be motivated the same way as a shark, because those are the people you're going to build more rapport with on terms of like, hey, I see your Raiders jacket there. That's cool. Like, you know, I like them too, or whatever. You're going to build rapport differently with those people, and you're also going to close them differently because their motivation is different usually. And the sea urchins are the people that are into numbers and logic. That's kind of Jonathan, I would say. They go strictly off data. They don't care your opinion. They want to know, what is my return on investment? How much am I going to pay? Why am I going to pay that? And with those people, there's key words and key questions like, does that make sense? If the numbers look good, are you ready to move forward today? I'm going to tell you all about solar, just a little background on it, but I'm also going to explain the numbers in detail to make sure that this makes sense, right? And you're going to basically speak to them that way. Everything has to be because, like, so this is going to do this because, and then in their head, okay, she explained why. If I just tell them the numbers without the logic, they're the people that are going to be like, let me think about it, or let me do my research. When somebody says that, they're definitely a sea urchin, because they are going to go research. And when they're a shark, and sometimes the sea urchins are harder to close because they're so numbers and logic. So I tell them, you know what, that's great. Here's what we're going to do. Does it look good to you now? Do the numbers look good? And then they say, well, yeah, they do look good. You know, I just got to research them. All right, so let's do this. Let's get you signed up. The numbers look great. In 3 years of doing this, I'm telling you, these numbers are great. And if you find something different, we still have the site audit. You come back to me and I'll try to see what I can do with those numbers. I'm going to make sure that I at least get the best shot at meeting your numbers. And then sometimes they'll sign. Sometimes they'll say, well, call me Tuesday, you know. But I mean, I feel like, to me, sometimes it's just not taking no for an answer, basically. I'd rather almost get a no than a maybe that ghosts me and doesn't answer the phone later. I want to know, are you in or are you out, you know? So with do not stop at no, I ask clarifying questions to get to the real objection, because usually what they give you is, I don't know if you noticed this, Jonathan, they'll give you an objection, but it's not the real objection. It's like, well, I don't think at this time. You kind of like when you said, well, maybe we'll do it next year. Like, it's not really that. There's a reason. You were afraid of like the next step. You were afraid of that commitment, right? Was probably the real objection. Like, I'm afraid if I tell this girl yes right now, I'm like, I just said yes to $40,000. That's the real objection. It's not, I'm not ready right now, next year, whatever. So you isolate the objection, you address that, and then you move forward. And you just go into an assumptive close. Yeah, so see, there's, you know, we're going to get you started with the survey. Don't worry about that. We're going to get your bill down $50 a month. You're going to save $36,000 over the course of the loan. And these numbers make sense, right? Yeah, okay. So the next step is we're going to qualify you and make sure that you meet the criteria, and then we're going to qualify your home at the site audit. Does that make sense? So that's what I would do to close someone like that. Then I value stack. When they're still like, I don't know, I'm not sure, I go back to what it is. You get a 30-year bumper-to-bumper warranty. You have these great Hanwha Q-cell panels. I tell them a little bit about that. I say you're going with Powur. We're in 18 states or 14 states. You're also going to be paying, you're going to be saving $50 a month. I basically go over all the things that were important to them, tie it back to why. If they tell me, well, actually, no, I'm going to say, well, the reason I mentioned that is because you had mentioned blah, 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 blah was important. So they're tiebacks, going back. I do that back and forth. It's like fishing until one of them hooks them. And then they're like, you know what, you're right. Let's just do it. And then, so that's only through layering questions.
We may have lost Lily. Oh, there she is. Unmute yourself, Lily.
Okay, there, sorry. I pressed something. So we just isolate the objection, address it, reassure them that they're making a good decision, and then go right into like, let's see if you qualify.
Got it.
And that's it.
Awesome. And do that all with a positive attitude and happy. And wow, that's a great question. I really like that you threw that out there. I think it throws them off.
I'm glad you asked that. I love that you thought of that. Other people don't ask that. Like, and they're like, really? Oh, and they feel special.
I love that you care about your roof. That's awesome.
Yeah, I love that you thought of that. 90% of people don't ask me that. So that's a great question.
So we'll jump to some Q&As in just a minute here. But Lily, huge thank you. I really like the mindset in the beginning, the attitude, just everything that you brought, even these personality traits. I mean, that's such a great reminder of things that we need to be thinking of to mimic the homeowner and get on their level. So great stuff. Hey, I just want to point out one or two things to the team. There is a new website, powuroutlet.com. So just in case you haven't seen that website, I thought I had it up.
You do. It's hiding in
there.
It's 40 tabs.
Yeah, thanks, Jared. So powuroutlet.com, really cool swag and shirts and Stay Glassy t-shirts. I ordered 2 of those. But up in resources, brochures, logos, marketing guidelines, personalized print, flyers, and postcards. So definitely go in and check out powuroutlet.com. I believe I emailed to everybody and they're on Facebook. A couple holiday cards here. Feel free to post that, share that around. everywhere. Try to entice the referral or people to go solar right now with the holidays. And something new, if you ever want to share an opportunity video that's up to date, I just made a really handy solarmodelexplained.com. So we'll just keep that with an up-to-date business opportunity video. So we don't always have to be scrambling to find the best one. And like always, every Tuesday at 10 a.m., the next Tuesday will be from Mike St. Lawrence with PACE. So PACE financing is for people that want to put it in their taxes. They don't have a good credit score. They want to use their equity. They want a better tax write-off. So there's some cool things to know about PACE. So that'll be next week with Mike St. Lawrence. He is hosting a training for Powur, I believe, tomorrow or Thursday at 12 o'clock. But we'll have our own private time with him next week. And then we're going to take the 29th off, enjoy the holidays. We'll kick back off on January 5th. We'll do some goals and a business plan for 2021. And then Paul Leon will be shortly after for some pipeline training. And then we even have a private session with Enphase to learn about Enphase and possibly a battery. So a lot of cool trainings coming up, guys. Lily, huge thank you again for an awesome training. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and then we can jump to some Q&As.